At Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church, we often say, we don't all look alike. We sure do not all think alike. But by the grace of God, we are united, knit together as God's people. We really believe that. As we can imagine ways that we can move towards racial justice, we begin by telling our stories. This is Fifth Avenue's Courageous Conversations.
My name is Jessica Carmona, and I've been coming to FAPC for 15 years. The first time that I can remember being conscious of race, of there being a distinct race, is when I was very young. I was with my father, and my sister and I, we were waiting for him to come out of a meeting. And so he came out of the meeting, he said, "Girls, we're almost done. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, I'll be right back, and then we'll go home." And there were other people around, and they saw him come out, and they saw him speak to my sister and I. And then as soon as he left, they all broke out laughing. And they said, "Oh my gosh, that's your dad? That's your father?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's my father." And they said, "But he's black." And I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, that's my father." I never before that point understood, that there was race. I mean, obviously I saw people were fat or skinny, tall or short, light or dark, but it was not like a distinction of humanity for me. It was just that they pointed it out. And my parents are biracial. They're both Puerto Rican. But my father is a black man. And you would probably not guess that he was Latino until he started speaking Spanish. And my mom is very, very fair, was very, very fair-skinned. And she had straight hair and a pointy nose. And, so physically they were very different, but they both spoke Spanish. They were both Christian, both involved in the church and education. So they were just a couple, and we were just their kids. And I didn't really see that, okay, my dad is black and my mom is white, until someone made me see that. So when I was about 12 or 13, my dad, he was a prison chaplain, so he was a pastor in a prison. And so when we were old enough, about 12 or 13, he started bringing us with him to church services, to worship inside the prison. So, they would pat us down and check us, and we would go with him into the worship service. And I just noticed that almost everyone there was black or Latino, like all of the inmates. It wasn't just like, okay, most of them, but then some white, but there was like virtually no white inmate. And so it became really, really clear to me that there's something wrong in our society, like there's some inequality, because I was like, is there something inherent in Black and Latino culture or people that like something about us that we happen to get in trouble with the law more frequently, that we happen to gravitate to prisons? And at times I varied between shame and elitism, like I'm special, I'm not like the rest, I'm educated, I have a job, So I had to check myself on that big time. But a lot of it was education. So it helped me understand, the vast majority of African Americans were brought here involuntarily in horrible conditions. And they lived for generations in slavery and oppression. So they had to go through Reconstruction, and, there's just a long, long legacy of oppression. And that's what creates the conditions that we see today, that we're still trying to move forward from the legacy of so many years ago. The kingdom of God, to me, looks like a society where there is equal opportunity, where people are treated fairly, where there is no racial discrimination in any area of life, where nobody is hungry, nobody is homeless, everybody has health care. And it's a society where we love and value and respect everyone, every last person. That's what the kingdom of God looks like to me on earth. And with so much oppression and inequality and unfairness, I think that God suffers, or God is sad when he sees that, when he sees his children suffering. Like, God is an artist. He's like he made Asians and Latinos and blacks and Indians and white. We're supposed to be living together in harmony with his beautiful creation, and like, we've got it all wrong.